Donald Trump is against everything this country stands for. He wants to be a king. It's been very clear for a long time. Before I get into this topic, please consider purchasing an America Has No King sticker or magnet for the back of your car. This serves as a channel donation to independent media as well. $14.99 includes free shipping. I know everyone is so desensitized, but this is by far the most disgusting statement said by an American president in at least 150 years, okay? So think of it. A modestly successful comedian, Zelensky, talked the U.S. into spending $350 billion. That number is a complete lie. The lie they spread about Ukraine misplacing money or not knowing where it went is also a complete lie. Complete disinformation. To go into a war that could not be won. Bro, to go into a war that could not be won. Of course, Ukraine was invaded. They don't want to be at war. Russia chose conflict. Russia chose to invade illegally, do war crimes, kill civilians. Russia chose this. There would be no conflict without Russia. But of course, Trump is on Russia's team. Russia promised Trump power, and in return, Trump would deliver. Trump says we have spent $200 billion more than Europe. That is also not true. Europe's money is guaranteed. Also not true. While the U.S. will get nothing back. The U.S. wants to take half of Ukraine's resources. It's insane. I think like $500 billion worth of resources the U.S. wants to purge Ukraine of. Donald Trump then uses the stupid people argument. So the stupid people argument appeals to quote unquote common sense. It's a really dumb argument that makes no logical sense, but you say common sense to shut down all critical thinking. We have a big, beautiful ocean as separation. The same argument can be used for literally any war. We trade globally. There's wars globally. Tell that to the U.S. during, Pearl Harbor. We get pulled into global conflicts. We will fall with the entire globe. The entire globe does matter. International sovereignty does matter. Protecting democracy and freedom does matter. Talking about Zelensky missing money, again, that's false. He refuses to have elections. Their democracy, their Congress in Ukraine has elected to push elections back. Okay, they have chosen to push elections back democratically. The Ukrainian people have a 57% approval rating of Zelensky. Zelensky is more popular in Ukraine, much more popular in Ukraine than Trump is in America. And by far more than Putin is literally anywhere, because Putin is a brutal dictator. But of course, Trump lies and says Zelensky has a 4% approval rating, which is so outlandish. But still, if you follow the Trump cult, you're going to believe it. Zelensky better move fast, or he is not going to have a country left. Literally just taking orders from Vladimir Putin. Directly taking orders from Vladimir Putin. Directly. Zelensky wants to keep the gravy train rolling. He calls him a dictator without elections. Like I said, democratically, the elections were pushed back because of wartime. Okay, the martial law was extended democratically. Vladimir Putin has been dictator for like 4 decades. An actual dictator. But again, Donald Trump attacks the EU. He attacks Canada. He attacks Mexico. He attacks Greenland. He attacks Denmark. He attacks all of these countries, Colombia, Panama. He attacks these countries that are freer, okay? He loves Hungary, Russia, China, North Korea, Saudi Arabia. He loves these anti-democratic countries that are not free, that are ruled by dictators. Meanwhile, he's repeating Russian propaganda, calling Zelensky a dictator for not having elections. In Russia, go ask a Russian civilian how they feel, and they can't tell you because they'll get killed. If you're a celebrity in Russia, if you speak out against the Russian regime at all, the next day you'll get thrown off. You get thrown off a hotel rooftop, a skyscraper. You fall off a skyscraper, you're dead. If you're an opposition party, you get poisoned. You get killed in Russia. You get jailed instantly. It's all just quid pro quos. It's all mafia. It's all oligarchy in Russia. That's why Ukraine had a revolution in 2014, because they wanted to be a free country, not under a dictatorial rule, not under dictatorship. Ukraine's government is not perfect. Of course, there's some corruption, but the democratic elements that have been able to grow in Ukraine since the revolution are a result of the influence of the West. Russia is the reason there is still corruption there. Russia is the reason Ukraine cannot prosper. Russia is the reason all of these countries need to be in constant fear. Russia is the reason we need NATO. But now Putin is instructing Trump to leave NATO, to kill NATO. Not only are we going to take funding away from Ukraine, not only are we going to take funding away, which we thought was going to be the worst outcome, but now we actively want to help Russia. Reaffirming Russia. Trump says Russia fought for the land they stole from Ukraine. They had a lot of people die. They deserve it. Meanwhile, Zelensky's this evil dictator that deserves to lose power forever. This is not even un-American. This is just anti-freedom. This is anti-constitution. This is anti-American. This is anti-human in general. And it's dumb shit. It's weak, dumb shit. If you follow this, you are a weak dumbass. You're a weak dumbass. You don't take personal responsibility into understanding the world. You don't care about the bullshit detector. I have to imagine that you were just lying on purpose. That you purposely want more violence because you're happy to see the world fall apart. Because no person can believe these lies without being a literal cult member or enjoying the lies, living within the lies, being happy to see the chaos happening on a mass scale. But I guarantee you, if you support this, the pain will come back to you. The pain will come back to you. It always does. The pain always comes back to you. They never stop. They don't just go after immigrants. They don't just go after trans people. They don't just go after Ukraine. They don't stop at certain countries. They will try to go for complete domination everywhere. That's their intended goal. Appeasing Russia, appeasing this authoritarian government in America never works. They will keep on going after the weakest people in society. And once they run out of that weak group, they move on to the next one. And eventually, I guarantee you, they will get to you. It's self-serving to care about freedom. It's self-serving to care about democracy. It can be. It's the right thing to do. It's self-serving. It's better for everyone involved. But whatever this is a disgrace to what America pretends to be now. What America pretends to be. And Republican congressmen, Republican senators, Republican whatever, Congress people, whatever, okay? They're too scared to stand up for either financial reasons, political reasons, maybe physical safety. Because Trump is going to let anyone free that works on his behalf. No matter what you do, he's going to pardon you. If you commit act of violence in D.C., a federal crime, you will be pardoned. He made that a guarantee. He already pardoned child abusers, child predators from January 6th, known child predators, who went back out to assault children yet again. This is the world Trump wants. He's not a leader. This is not leadership. You need to dominate groups because you're not a leader. Because if you were a leader, you'd be able to get consensus. You'd be popular. You would do things on behalf of people. You'd be transparent. You would be a leader. You would rule by your quality, not by this fake sense of masculine bravado, by using violence and strong-arming the world, being pushed around by Putin, destabilizing the U.S., and doing the bidding of authoritarian countries like Russia and China. China's taking influence all around the world. Russia, they're expanding because of this regime, because of Donald J. Trump, and most of all, because of the American people that won't stand up to it. Please consider purchasing an America Has No King sticker or magnet for the back of your car. This serves as a channel donation to independent media as well. $14.99 includes free shipping.